Hi, my name is Emily and I am a theatre maker and a workshop facilitator.
Flowers on a single stem, and blessed for 14 years with every grace, and now at marriageable age. Each skilled in music as in dance, each apt in needlecraft. But enviously did Dionysa watch them.
When I was younger, I really wanted to be an actor. But since I've started working in theatre, I've realised that everybody's jobs in creating a piece of theatre all intermingles. So you very rarely get people who just do acting or just do writing. And actually, creativity is a very big collaborative effort, which means that everybody has to work together and put on different hats in order to create something. My first role that I can remember in a school play was when I got to be in the year 5 and 6 school play when I was only in year 4. And I remember that I had a funny line. I wish I could remember what it was. And I just remember the audience laughing. And I thought, I can make people laugh by standing on stage and saying things. When I got to be a little bit older, I joined a couple of after-school theatre clubs. So I used to do the Bristol Old Vic Young Company, which meant that we did after-school workshops where we'd try out different plays and learn lots of things about how you act and the best way of doing things. But I actually went on to do an English degree at university. So I went to the University of Oxford and did English literature and language. So obviously that involved things like Shakespeare and a few other playwrights, but it was much more reading based and writing essays. So I didn't really get much of a chance to do any theatre when I was at university, apart from a couple of student productions. So I did Macbeth there, and that was really good fun. After university, I didn't know what to do for a while, and a friend recommended that I applied for a training scheme with the local museum in Exeter, which was to train as an assistant curator of world cultures. And I felt so inspired by all of these people living around the world and telling each other stories and passing on their histories and their religions and their mythologies just through storytelling and through performance. We were working with all of these objects that people would use in performance. There were puppets that we had from Asia. There were these whole body kind of feather and cloth costumes that we had from Central and West Africa. From that job, I went on to do a master's degree in the arts of Africa, Oceania, and the Americas. And through that, I got to look at how we can use theatre or performance in museums. My heritage has always informed the way that I've related to theatre, but I think it's only recently that I've realised it, if that makes any sense. I know when I was younger, I often used to come and see Shakespeare at the tobacco factory, at the Bristol Old Vic, at various other places. And I somehow internalised that I could never be in a Shakespeare play. And that's because all of the actors that I saw in Shakespeare plays were always kind of white and English rose type people. I had my curly hair and darker skin. I just thought people like me didn't exist back in Shakespeare's times, or for some reason they're never in his plays, so I couldn't do that. And it's not that anyone had told me that, but it's just from what you see around you, you kind of take that as the truth. So it took me a long time to kind of negotiate and navigate where that identity might be. And actually it's in finding my own voice as a writer and a creator that I've been able to create that voice for myself and create a space for myself in the stories that already exist or in creating new stories. Since then, I've been working for a company called Saltmine, who similarly do a mixture of schools tours and national tours. So sometimes we'll be in theatres and sometimes we'll be in schools. And with them, I also write quite a lot. So the current show that I'm working on is called Rapunzel. It's a retelling of the Rapunzel story that you're probably all familiar with. But it's a new version that I've written. So instead of the long blonde hair, Rapunzel has big curly hair, and she's discovering her identity. And so in that one I wrote it, but I'm also playing the part of Rapunzel, and I'm touring it at the moment.
Here's a tall tale about a girl in a tower, named after a plant, but Rapunzel's no wallflower. A head full of curls and a whirling imagination. A pearl shining brightly in incarceration.
Achievement is something that I don't really think about very much, especially in a creative job. It's not something that you can measure very easily. I think for me, working in a creative field is just about igniting a flame of inspiration so that somebody else can take that flame and make it into something different. Obviously, I also want people to have fun when they see things that I've made, and I want to make people laugh and I want to make people cry with the words that I write. But at the end of the day, I want them to go ahead thinking something differently about the world than they thought before.